Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Okay, welcome to another edition, a live edition on a Monday night of the BCSN SportsWrap. A little off of our normal Sunday evening time, but aren't we so fortunate and glad that we chose to delay our show by a little over 24 hours. Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, So Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. That's A.D. Drew. A.D., what's going on, man? What's been going on with you? Any big news happened over the last 12, 24 hours? What's going on?
About the last 5-6 hours, man. How about that?
5-6. Oh, what? You got some new? You breaking some news on the show today? Don't give it away just yet. Last 5-6 hours, you got to break some news.
Now, I just been hanging out at Tuskegee University today, doing some stuff. Hopefully, we got some pictures of me out there later on that we can get up later on.
Yes.
I'm not gonna give too much away.
Your second home. I don't know. It might be your first home, man. You spent more time in Tuskegee colors and in Tuskegee than you have in Rattler gear. You'll move FAMU to number 2. What's going on, man? What's up?
Well, you want me to be honest with you, Brian?
I love honesty.
I got paychecks from Tuskegee. I paid FAMU.
I was gonna say you got bills from Tallahassee and FAMU.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Bills from Tallahassee. Yeah, you got paychecks from Tuskegee and bills.
30 years later, still got bills.
Yeah, man. What a life. Hey, thank you for coming in and watching us. The BCSN SportsWrap, part of the Black College Sports Network. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, you guys who are out there on YouTube, I'm going to jump on here and see what our YouTube feed is looking like. I know you guys got a lot of stuff. Who knows what? It might be a little something to talk about today. But if you're watching us on YouTube, first off, go ahead and hit that like button there on our show. And then go ahead and make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's actually the Jericho Broadcast Network's channel. So any of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network, you have an opportunity to get access to if you just hit that bell. So that way you'll get notified whenever our show comes on. Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the pregame show, which covers Jackson State athletics, the O&G Strike Zone, which covers Florida A&M University athletics, and then, of course, the Carlos Brown Show on Saturdays, and every now and then we've got some other shows for the non-sports folks as well. The nerds in a great show. Grumpy Old Nerds comes on, and Random Thoughts with DMV. Random Thoughts with DBP, excuse me, that comes on as well. So an opportunity to listen to an eclectic mix of shows. And we are looking for other shows as well. You know, if you're a content creator looking for a home, come talk to us. Come holler at us. You know, come on in. Come on in. We want to hear from you. We're looking for more the merrier. The more we can do, the better off. And if you're watching us on Facebook, thank you for watching us on Facebook, on our Facebook streams. Make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and share the feed right now. Let people know that our show is now live. Coming up on the show today, at the bottom of the first hour, we're going to get into a little baseball talk with our good friend Michael Coker from BlackCollegeNines.com. Mike and Drew and a few of our other team members are putting together this event, this big event coming up in a couple of months. Actually, yeah, we're probably about a month and a half. Oh, look at that. The Black College World Series 2022. Going to be live right there in Montgomery, Alabama. That's right, correct? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. That is why I am here today, Brian, over the next couple of days, trying to tie up some loose ends before we head out to, before we get this event rolling.
Nice. So I'm looking forward to that event. You can go, let's give people the website again, Drew. I know we'll give it out later on in the show, but let people know the website to get information on the Black College World Series.
BlackCollegeChampionships.com. Black College Championships, and that's plural with an S.com. And you should be able to access that site also through our main website, by BCSN.
All right. Well,
and you can go there. You can purchase your tickets and everything else. We're setting up our online store where you can purchase paraphernalia such as this. And see if I can reach over here and grab this T-shirt.
Oh, we got gear this year. We got gear. What?
Yeah, here you go.
Officially licensed gear. Nice.
Yes,
okay.
Officially not. They're just a bootleg man, so not the bootleg man. We the bootleg man. Yeah. We bootlegging our own stuff. We doing the Tyler Perry. We bootlegging our own stuff till we get our name out there.
Yeah. Well, let's get into a few things. We got a lot of things to talk about over the past week since we were on the show. And I guess we're going to start with the biggest hit of the past 12 hours. And that was the one that was delivered by William Smith towards a Christopher Rock. And you know what? This isn't even I think, Drew, at some point, I was telling producer Roy this. I think I'm going to just do a podcast or a show. We don't have any entertainment-themed shows per se, but I think we're about to start one because this would be a great time to start one. I have so many different thoughts, and there are so many different levels. There's so many layers to this story, to this assault, or to this defense that took place. And I tell you that of all the thoughts that come into my mind, I think about how three individuals their big moment was taken away by what Mr. Smith did. First and foremost, the moment for Questlove was taken away. Who actually, Chris Rock was up to be a presenter. He was there to give a few comedy jokes, few jokey jokes, you know. He was on a successful run into the last one. You know, it's always like that, right? Throwing a no-hitter, and then all of a sudden he gave up a grand slam and lost the game. But
the two out hit the ninth.
2 out hitting the ninth. Right, he was rolling, and then all of a sudden to a bad pitch, hit the batter. Next minute you got a brawl happening. So, but anyway, Questlove, he was up there to present for Questlove, and the documentary. The name escapes me. That Questlove's documentary. I've heard good reviews about it, but it was his moment. He's a Philly guy. His moment was taken away by the incident that happened. My second thought goes to the Williams family, Richard Williams, Venus, and Serena. I don't know. Is Richard? I hate to say this. Is Richard? I could have looked this up.
He passed. He passed a few years ago.
Pass. Okay, I thought so. I just, I could have looked it up. But anyway, the Williams family, Venus, Serena, the sisters, all of those people, their moment was taken away because it was intermingled with that apology he gave in his speech, and not a fan of how that was all presented. Personally, that's my opinion. And then also a young brother that I had a chance to work with while as an undergrad at Florida A&M, and who he surpassed. Look, he went tenfold on me on whatever, but Will Packer and his production company, the first African-American based production company to host an Oscars, his moment, and he was doing some good things with that show, some different things. That funny enough, I saw a lot of people who watched the Oscars and award shows, they were complaining about some different things, but I thought he mixed it up well. I thought there were a lot of things that he did differently, which was entertaining to see. His moment was stolen. So in all of that, as Mr. Smith was supposedly defending his wife, defending his family, he actually stole the moment and might have even stole the soul of another brother, but he stole the moments of 3 people. Yeah. And that bothers me on so many levels. So I can talk more on another show at another time, but Drew, I asked the question, what would you do? And what are your thoughts?
Well, speaking of stole, I don't know if this was a word back in Indianapolis, Indiana when you grew up, but it was definitely a word in St. Louis. When you hit somebody, you stole them. So
Yes. That's why I use it. That's why I said that's That Midwest. Yes.
Okay, so it made it to Indianapolis too. And this is a real touchy subject for me because number one, I've got somebody very close to me in my family who suffers from alopecia, which is what Jada Pinkett Smith suffers from. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith has just come to her recently within the last few years, especially to the point where she can no longer hide it. Where this individual that I've known, female, has suffered from it since she was 7 years old. So
wow.
You have to think about that. Not only are you suffering from that, but then just the identity stuff that you go through when you're going through puberty and your body and everything like this. And this young lady she's handled it well. She's accepted it. 90% of the time she goes around natural. She'll put on a wig and put her eye, she paints her eyebrows on and things like that. But she suffered through it, and she's in her mid to late 20s. She knows I'm not gonna call her by her name, but she knows she is if she's listening to this. And but for people who are going through this, and especially if you still haven't fully accepted it, it's a challenge for you just from a mental standpoint to accept what's happening to your body. So the first thing people think is you got cancer. No, you don't have cancer. It's just something that does not allow your hair to grow no longer, and it gets to the point where it's no longer there. So that's something that she's had to deal with. I've helped her through it, and I'm pretty sure Jada has her support system to help it through, because you have to dig real deep down and find that inner beauty within yourself when you're going through this. No matter how beautiful everyone else thinks you are, you have to find that for yourself. That's number one. Number two, you remember when you were little, Brian, and you saw something, imperfection or a disability in another person, and you used to like, "Ooh, mama, look! Ooh, mama, look!" And your mama would be like, "Shut your mouth up! Don't say that! Don't talk about other people! Blah 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 blah." You know, that was one of those moments Chris Rock should remember that lesson that his mother or his daddy taught him or should have taught him right then and there. It's one thing to joke, but when you start joking on people's physical, that becomes personal. I understand he's a comedian. He could have went back to the red carpet table, red table, whatever, with a joke before he did that one. And that would have been pushing the line because you still now you pushing Will Smith's manhood. And there's two things you don't do. You don't push a brother's manhood and force him to man up, which is what Chris Rock did. He forced Will Smith to man up. And you don't talk about a man's wife, kids, or mother. You can talk about my daddy, but you can't talk about my mama. You can talk about my brother, but you can't talk about my kids. You can't talk about my wife. And if you go back to the clip, it was like, they were rolling, they were laughing with the jokes, and then all of a sudden they laughing. They're like, wait a minute, this blank is talking about me. Oh, okay. And she didn't have to say anything. You've been married to her long enough, though. You know that look. Like this, and we were like, oh, nah, you didn't disrespect him. You didn't disrespect my wife. So when you disrespect my wife, you disrespect me. And at that point in time, there's no telling what could happen. Thank God it was just a slap. Number one, instead of a closed fist. Number one. Number
Thank
two.
God for who? Wait a minute. Let me hold on. Thank God for who? Will or Chris?
Probably Chris, because Chris wasn't even looking for it. Thank God it was just a slap instead of a closed fist. That's number one. Well, we probably would have spent the night in the county, but he would have got in because what Mama say, always get the first punch in because you never know if you're gonna get another one in. Will Smith definitely got the first one in.
Yes, he did.
You got that. Thank God for security because if
security?
Huh? No, well, let's think about this. What happens on the shooter at the club? You got the pat down, you go through the metal detectors and stuff like that. That could have been one of them incidents, and we've seen, unfortunately, we've seen it on the street where that turns into something a heck of a lot worse than just a slap. Well, we've seen it, and then you've got guns, knives, and stuff like that. Thank God that it happened on live TV, but they have security measures in place for stuff like that. So because he might be the Fresh Prince, but he is from West Philly. So the West Philly came out in him in that. You can take a brother out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a brother.
So many memes. Look, that's the same excuse Juwan Howard used. Come on now, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
But in the moments you have to realize. And number three, let's give Chris Rock some credit here, because 90% of the brothers I know, when that happened, it would have been some type of retaliation. But if I didn't get him, my goon behind me comes on and jumps him before he gets back to his seat. Something along those lines. So thank God Chris Rock, like, he just slapped it out of me. If you have to go back and watch the Australian feed of it, and he said he just slapped it. And credit to Chris Rock, he wound up making somewhat of a joke out of it. So I give that brother credit for maintaining his composure, because I don't know if I would have been on the receiving end of that if I could have maintained my composure. And and for people who don't know, that's almost like you, Brian, at your size. coming in and slapping me. Now, you're thicker than Will Smith, but height-wise, you're about the same height as Will Smith is. And Chris Rock is a hair shorter than I am, but we're about, what, 4 inches? We're about 4 inches apart height-wise, Brian, which is about what they are, 4 to 6 inches apart height-wise. So, and Will Smith knew who to slap and who not to slap.
True. Yeah, I hate the whole analogy.
If that was if that was Tyler Perry up there with that joke, Tyler Perry being thicker than him, they're about the same height, but Tyler Perry being thicker than him, I don't think he gets it off.
Yeah, or the worst is I heard people say, well, what if that was The Rock? Of course he's not going to walk up there and slap The Rock. Of course not. You know, of course he saw the fact that he had a smaller person and he took advantage of that. Now, I will say this, though. I agree with you when we talk about what would you do. Yes, 90% of the people I have heard from or talked to would have chased him to the end of the stage. There might have been a tackle off the stage, and it would have got real. I hate to say this, it would have got real Source Awards type. You had people jokingly say, "Oh, you had some more Source Awards type stuff." Yeah, it almost got Source Awards type had Chris not shown the composure that he showed. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's definitely to be commended for that. But I go back to I saw M Ford ask, did Chris know whether did he know about Jada's alopecia? I don't think that had come out. Look, I mean, as a casual entertainment watcher, I didn't know that she had it, and I don't think too many people did. Maybe she had just come out with it. But I think we have seen so many beautiful black women with short haircuts that, I mean, she looked beautiful. I thought she looked beautiful in that natural moment with her hair. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that, you know, who knows, it's not cancer. So, I'm not thinking that in some respect. But the joke itself, and I heard it again today, and I'm like, you know, when he said it in reference, now look, if you have never seen G.I. Jane with Demi Moore, this was back in the 90s, shame on you. You missed a wonderfully bad movie, but you missed it, okay? you missed it. Now, and brothers, men, why you will want to go see it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Men, you want to see G.I. Jane. Anyway, you missed a good movie. But when he said it, I said, oh, that was a pretty good joke. I actually thought it was a good, because yes, she had on a green outfit. She looked like, you know, it was a dress, and she had and I'm thinking, okay. Or, you know, I thought he might have gone with some sort of Rwanda, no, not Rwanda. What's the damn fictional place in Black Panther? You know, yeah, he might have gone with that kind of theme, surprisingly, right? Yeah, Wakanda. Why did I say Rwanda? Wakanda, whatever. Okay, thank you.
Rwanda is a real place.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, not Rwanda. Real people died there. No. I'm talking about Wakanda. Okay, I thought he might have gone to that level, but he didn't. You know, and so I thought it fell. But anyway, it's a lot. Again, when I talk about the one thing I say, if you did, there was history though, Drew. There was history in that moment because Chris Rock, who had previously been a presenter, had some jokes about Jada boycotting the Oscars back when Will was nominated for Concussion, I believe, right? And she boycotted. I can't remember if she boycotted it because of that or what the exact reason was, but I heard the jokes. And I was like, yo, Chris Rock is going in on Jada, right? He's really going in. And it was almost like on a personal level. And they've worked on movies together, so he knows Jada, but so it felt personal to, like real personal. You know how, like if you and I were to tell jokes, we could probably go real personal and everybody else would kind of look around and be like, are they kidding or is that real personal? That sounded like it cut to some truth. Right? So that's how I felt like. So maybe, just maybe, Will was holding on to that along with all the other stuff that's been going on and all the other jokes people been getting off on him. And he snapped, which isn't good. You know, that's not good. So we can go to, so that's why I said you can go to the mental health aspect of things and talk about what kind of mental instability is this brother dealing with that on his biggest night of his professional career, that he would throw it all away to walk on stage and slap Chris Rock.
Because he loved
Is
that
defending,
woman.
oh man. Is that healthy love? I mean, I get love. I get black love. I'm all for black love. Is that healthy though? See, another discussion. Another discussion, another show, right? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? There's a lot of layers to this thing, man.
You're talking to a newly married man, but you know, sometimes whether you want to or not, let me put it to you like this: if he doesn't handle that, he don't go home and get in the house.
See, I was always raised that if your family's in danger, if your woman and wife is in danger, all the rest of it though, that you know what that's like, Chris? That's I almost called you Chris. Drew, you know what that's like? That's like walking in the club with the prettiest woman, and everybody sees how beautiful she is. And you know brothers are trying. Brothers are looking. How many dudes can you fight off for looking at your woman?
And what's the looking at them ain't the problem.
Okay, but so what is it? If one grab her hand, if one say hello, what some brothers don't. See what I'm saying? There's a line to this that is like.
When you call her out of her name in a derogatory way, there may be consequences and repercussions.
All right. So G.I. Jane, the G.I. Jane joke was calling her out at derogatory.
To Will.
See, it's not healthy. Not healthy. All right, let's move on because I tell you, we can spend a long time talking about that one. Hey, we got to give a shout out to the Talladega Tornadoes and Coach Chris Wright. Last Monday night, a watch party, the NAIA National Championship. Talladega made it all the way to the final game. Tuesday night. So about a week ago, less than a week now. And went all the way to the national championship game. Unfortunately, they lost to their rival, their conference rival, their nemesis, their kryptonite, whatever catchy phrase you want to use for a team that beat you 4 times and you lose 6 times in a year and 4 of them were to the same team. However you want to spin that, that's what Loyola University is to Talladega College. They beat them 71-56, and that was a tough pill to swallow. Drew, what were your thoughts? I don't know if we ever summarized, but what were your thoughts on Talladega's run, just their season, and everything that we've seen from Coach Wright and his guys?
Yeah, well, it came down to one thing, and Talladega had a tremendous season. Look, when you lose 6 games and 4 of them to the same opponent, I think that's pretty doggone good. You just got that one hurdle that you cannot overcome. It's almost like the 73-win Warriors team who just could not get over that LeBron hurdle. LeBron just had they just could not get over that hurdle with LeBron. No matter how great that team was, it was not good enough. So, or the Yankees team in whatever year that the Arizona Diamondbacks beat them. You know, you can win all those games, but you got to win the most important one. And Bryan, it came down to one thing. When you really break it down, Loyola had more beef inside. They had better rebounding than Talladega in all 4 matchups. That rebounding edge, especially on the offensive boards, was the difference in all 4 games. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you look at everything else, Talladega played even or better than Loyola. But that rebounding edge those second chance points, those two top rebounders in the nation on the same team, two double machines on the same team. And let's be real,
Yeah.
Brian, you've coached basketball as long as I have. That type of advantage is hard to overcome.
Yep.
Points in the paint, uh, free throws, and and this takes it even further. Talladega attempted 15 free throws in the championship game. Loyola made 14.
Wow.
Yeah, Loyola going 14 for 25 from the line. Talladega going 9 for 15. And whenever you have a team that makes more free throws than the other team even attempts, 9 times out of 10, the team that made the most free throws is going to win. It's just one of those unwritten rules of basketball. If you want to take one glance, those are the two statistical pieces that really stuck out to me in that particular game. Outside the poor shooting in the first half from Talladega and tremendous shooting in the second half, but they were down too far, cut it down to a 5-point game, great run. Those two statistics tell the whole story. The rebounding edge and the free throws. And the rebounding edge led to second chance points and points in the paint advantage for Loyola that Talladega could not overcome.
Talladega finished their season 32-6. This group at Coach Chris Wright had 9 seniors, 4 juniors. Those seniors, we've seen them the last couple seasons, obviously, and they have done a great job we've seen this program go from receiving votes to being in the middle of the polls, should have gotten higher, to actually getting their respect this year, getting as high as ranked number 2.
Top 10 team.
Yeah. Yes, being a consistent top 10 team and a product also of the conference. The Southern States, which they just moved into, they fit in just perfectly, and they brought so much value to that Southern States Athletic Conference, and as evidenced by the fact that 2 teams played in the championship game. That conference is going to be a major force in NAIA basketball. Special shout out to Daryl Baker, the senior guard from Jeffersonville, Indiana. He named to the second team NAIA All-American team, representing Talladega there. Just looking at the list here to see, I think there were some honorable mentions as well. If I go through just quickly, I see honorable mentions: Corey Benton of Florida Memorial, a senior guard from Columbus, Ohio, made the the honorable mention team. Also, as I'm just quickly scanning here, Londell King of Stillman, the senior forward from Tallahassee, Florida, he too made the honorable All-Mention. And Makai Richard from Xavier, the senior guard from Morgan City, Louisiana, also made the honorable mention All-American team. So congratulations to all of those HBCU players. Just one last quick, I don't think I missed anybody off the first, second, or third team. So great run by Talladega. Great run.
Two quick points before we go to break, Brian. You talk about that Southern States Conference. Keep in mind, Loyola had to beat another Southern States team, and I believe it was in the round of 16, that being Faulkner University in the tournament, and there were 4 Southern States team, our other HBCU in that conference, Steelman, made it to the second round of the national tournament. And you talk about those 9 seniors at Talladega, and this is what has really been interesting over the last couple of years. How many of those are seniors, and how many of those will be COVID seniors, where they may have another year of eligibility due to COVID? So there may be opportunity for some COVID. You got a red shirt senior, and then you might as well call them a COVID senior to come back and possibly play 1 year, one additional year of ball. So don't know that off the top of our head, but it will be interesting to see if they have any COVID seniors.
2 quick points before we go to break, Brian.
Two quick points before we go to break, Brian. You talk about that Southern States Conference. Keep in mind, Loyola had to beat another Southern States team, and I believe it was in the round of 16, that being Faulkner University in the tournament, and there were 4 Southern States team, our other HBCU in that conference, Steelman, made it to the second round of the national tournament. And you talk about those 9 seniors at Talladega, and this is what has really been interesting over the last couple of years. How many of those are seniors, and how many of those will be COVID seniors, where they may have another year of eligibility due to COVID? So there may be opportunity for some COVID. You got a red shirt senior, and then you might as well call them a COVID senior to come back and possibly play 1 year, one additional year of ball. So don't know that off the top of our head, but it will be interesting to see if they have any COVID seniors
All right, we're going to catch up. We're behind a bit. So on the other side of this break, Michael Coker from blackcollegenines.com will join us. We'll get our baseball fix as we start to move into the diamond and see what's going on in baseball as things will be leading up to the 2022 Black College World Series in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the Sports Wrap, Bryan and A.D.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head and Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate pride. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan, A.D., and joining us now, a good friend, Michael Coker, BlackCollege9s.com, talking all things HBCU baseball. Also, make sure I got the title right now, the executive director of the Black College World Series. Did I get that title right, Mike?
Black College Championships.
I'm sorry, Black College Championships. Right. But who puts
the
on
Black College
the
World Series?
Thank you. I got it. I'll have it right by May 11th. I'll have it right by then. You know, I'm still working it out right now. Hey, good to have you on with us, Mike. Man, you know, it's funny. Baseball gets kind of, it's kind of like you got to wait until the middle of March for some people. Not you, however, but for some people, they don't start getting into baseball until basketball finally gets decided that first couple weekends of March. But there are some interesting storylines that are happening. Got to give a shout out before we get into that, Mike. Obviously, Drew, let people know what you just saw there on that video as you were stunting there with some Braves gear. What was that was going on?
And that was hard for me to hold, considering I'm a Cardinals fan, holding all that Braves gear. But
yes,
and I know Mike's a Cubs fan over there, so it's he
Mike would have never done
like,
that.
Yeah, Mike might have not ever done that. But today at Tuskegee University, the Atlanta Braves World Series trophy, not a replica, the trophy, was on display as they have a community program where they're taking the trophy around to 151 different stops over the I think it's over a 3 to 4 month period where they had the trophy, because they say the trophy is the people's trophy, and the number 151 signifies the number of years that the Braves have been in existence as a professional organization, going back to the 1800s. So it was on display this afternoon at Tuskegee University. By the way, Tuskegee University is the only HBCU stop on this tour. So this is a special event, not only for Tuskegee, but for HBCUs. And shout out to Coach Reginald Hollins, Athletic Director Reginald Ruffin, and President Dr. Charlotte Boris for bringing the event to that university. So that was my opportunity to step into a digital photo booth and show off some Braves gear. And that picture from that digital photo booth is courtesy of, let me get it, Golden Jewels Video. You can go to their website, Golden Jewels Visuals, GoldenJewelsVisuals.com. But they're based out of Atlanta, but that's where that video came from in one of their platforms. And I don't, if Roy can put up the picture of me with the World Series trophy, if you would, Mr. Producer, please.
Did you actually get a chance to touch it? Did they let you touch the World Series
Oh,
trophy?
heck no, they weren't gonna let you touch that, man. You lost your mind. See if our producer is paying attention. Hopefully he's got that picture downloaded yet. But we'll get that up in just a moment. But I figure it was fitting to show the picture of the World Series trophy before we talk about the Black College World Series trophy that will be coming out later on this year. And there I am with the World Series trophy. Oh, that's close as you get, but you had to grab the podium. You couldn't touch the whole thing. You couldn't grab it like a woman.
Like if that was Halle Berry, that's like you can't put your hand on her back, but you could act like you are, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So it was a great event. A lot of public officials there from the city of Tuskegee, Macon County. And obviously got a chance to talk to all the coaches on campus because everybody came through, and so talk to a lot of people today. Met a lot of new people also. supporters.
All right, you're chewing into Michael's time. We pulled him away from a story that he was writing, and so he's got to get back to it while the ideas are fresh in his head. So, Mike, let's jump into the conversation. Let's start with the Black College World Series, which takes the top 8 teams from the small school poll from the blackcollegenines.com small school poll, and so we'll start there. Savannah State currently in the number 1 spot with an overall record of 18-6. I believe Savannah State was in the World Series last year, if I'm not mistaken. Were they not?
Yes, they were, and they're currently 21-6.
Oh, okay, 21-6. So, what has been their biggest improvement when you look at this team? They're number 1, and I think they've been number 1 for a couple of weeks now. What is it about this team that they've improved on from the year? And do you kind of anticipate them continuing to run things in the SIAC?
I do, and here's why. Savannah State returns their entire roster from last season. They only graduated 1 player. Everybody has that hunger experience, and that hunger experience transpired from the Black College World Series last year in Montgomery. They thought they could win it. They were defeated and they were sent home, but they left there with a feeling that we can come back there and win this. And they're playing like every game they're playing is like they're in a championship game. There isn't a game that they really have been out of. A couple games they errors have a way of it's a part of the game. And what I like about the team and Coach Carlton Hardy, he's mixing his pitching in well. He's got some arms, he's got some flamethrowers, he's got a good relief pitchers, and mainly he's got his offense. They're putting up some big numbers. I mean, they got some big RBI guys and guys that they're no longer hitting for average. They're all hitting above average, especially when your team is as a team, you're hitting more than 325. That's huge in college baseball. And that's what I like about this team. I like the makeup of what he's putting the product on the field.
Yeah, the team has, I'm just reading here, this past weekend, they recorded their 5th consecutive SIAC series sweep, beating Lane College in a 3-game road series. Lane, another school, I believe that was in the no, Lane was supposed to be in it, but they didn't. Anyway, but Lane had a good squad last year, if I remembered correctly. But I think that Lane graduated a lot of people, if I recall. They're running to 17-1 in conference, and that's pretty impressive. A pair of as you mentioned, they got a few guys here that are running some 6-0 records right now. One young man 7-1, so they're getting a lot of production from their pitchers. Who's another team? And before I give it over to Drew, who's another team on this poll in the top 10? Maybe obviously the top 8 teams will get the invite, but who's another team that you think can challenge Savannah State as this season goes on?
Well, I think there's 2 teams that can challenge them. One is Miles, but before I really get into that, and I'll be quick about it. Savannah State is number 1 in the HBCU Small School Top 10 poll, and they are also number 8 ranked team in the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association South Division Regional Top 10 poll. So Savannah is currently the team to beat. But I expect that this weekend will be a telling weekend because they're playing Miles, who's on a 13-game winning streak. And Miles is 15-3 in the conference, and Savannah State is 17-1. Miles has a chance to either balance that scale or tip the scale in their favor. What can help Savannah is it's a home game for Savannah. Miles will be on the road. But I really think the team that you could keep an eye out for once they're starting to manage their diversity, and that's Tuskegee. I think Tuskegee is going to shock a lot of teams down the road. I think Tuskegee is going to get hot. They had some injuries. They had some issues on the baseball field. If you know anything about Reginald Hollins is going to right this ship. He's got a young, hungry team, and I think that they're going to tip the scale. One way or another, they're going to be right in the mix of that 8 seed tournament because the SIAC conference has done away with divisional play. There's no longer the East and the West. It's all the top 8. And if you're going to have Tuskegee right in the middle of the thick of things, and I think that Tuskegee can get hot. I think Tuskegee will make some noise. I'm not taking anything away from Albany State or Savannah or Miles, but I just got a gut feeling to keep an eye out on Tuskegee this season.
I saw Drew's face lit up there as you said that. So, Drew, go ahead.
All right, and yeah, I went and saw Tuskegee yesterday. Gonna see him tomorrow. But Mike, we talked about the Division II teams to watch out for as potential Black College World Series participants. What about the NAIA division?
Well, the NAIA, I'm always have been a fan of teams that play a tough non-conference schedule, and you got to tip your cap to Marco Dominguez over there at Talladega College. They're in a conference where the Southern Athletic Conference, they send 5 to 6 teams to the national tournament every year. Those teams, 5 of those teams in that conference are ranked in the NAIA top 25 poll. Right now. I would lean towards Tuskegee. I'm sorry, not Tuskegee. Talladega. I also think that Adrian Holloway is going to right that ship as well over at Xavier at the University of Louisiana. I think that's a good program. I think that my dark horse team, and you really got to start watching them. They have a young coach, 24 years old. You got to start watching Pernell Roberts down in Harrison Stowe State. Currently, they knocked off the first place team this past weekend, and they're playing good ball. They're ranked in HBCU baseball's small school top 10 poll. I think they're going to make and shock a lot of people. Another good team, if they can manage to end their losing streak, is Florida Memorial. I think the Lions should be right there in the thick of things, and I believe that then you have the surprise group, the really who's really shocking everybody is Payne. You got to remember Payne is a former SIAC conference member. Payne also is a Division II program that just stepped down. They didn't play ball for a couple years because of administrative issues. It wasn't COVID related. It was administrative. They decided to bring the baseball program back as an NAIA member, a conference member, and they're 13-5 on the season, and they're playing like they're a championship caliber team. So those are the teams you really got to keep an eye out on. If once the tournament seeding comes around, I'm not saying that those teams will make the tournament, but those are the teams I think that you really need to look at.
All right, I'll jump in and add here for as we move over to the large school division, primarily the Division I and the SWAC and MEAC. I've 2 thoughts here, but I'll stick to the main one. Bethune-Cookman looks for real. They've had the last week. When I look at the fact that it pains me to say this, but Bethune-Cookman, they not only just won 2 out of 3 against Alabama State at home. Now, they've had a nice stretch in the state of Florida over the past week, I guess. They sweep Jackson State. They lose to the University of Florida in Gainesville by 1 run, 3-2. Considering my university got a football score put up on them by Florida, losing 3-2 is impressive as heck. Then, hosting Alabama State, they win 2 out of 3, losing the last game on Sunday 6-3. Currently sitting in first place. It's like they got the hard part of the home schedule out the way. How good is Bethune-Cookman, Mike? I mean, is this a team that really maybe – I mean, we knew that Bethune and FAMU were going to come in and make some waves, but much like FAMU did on the football side, looks like Bethune has come in making waves on the baseball side of things in the SWAC.
Well, you got to know the history of Bethune, and it happened under the 2 prior coaches, and it's happening again. They always start the season off slow, and then as the weather starts getting warmer in Florida and across the nation, then they start winning, and that's what's happening now. You got a good ball club. They had a bad stretch where they went down to Baton Rouge and got their tails handed to them by LSU. They come back with a sense of urgency, and now they're winning. Coach Hernandez, I like what the broadcaster said in that Florida game. They said he's an up-and-coming coach. He is starting to run his program like he's running a Division I SIAC ACC program where he's getting the top recruits in. He's getting arms. He's got arms on that team. It's how he's using those arms. They're playing good defense. They're playing tight defense. He's got mound presence. So he's got things to work with. I personally think that they're going to shock teams in the SWAC, which they're doing now because they sit at the leaderboard. They're the first place team in the SWAC conference. And I think that that's going to continue until the season ends. I think that we're looking at, I kind of said some things on a last interview I did that I thought that Mississippi Valley State was going to win the conference, will be a good conference tournament team. But I also feel that coming out of Florida, that this is the team to beat. I also feel this is the team to beat in the Southwest Athletic Conference. Do not be shocked, SWAC members, if Bethune-Cookman takes the entire tournament, the entire conference. The makeup of this team, they understand what it takes to win the 1-run game. That game that they played against Florida, they lost by 1 run, but it was a good game. To go up against a powerhouse program will do nothing but strengthen your schedule.
All right, so Mike, we've got about 2 minutes or so left in this portion of this interview. So let's talk about the Black College World Series. If you could tell everybody what it is, when, where. Let's quickly give the 5 W's, and probably the most important W that you need to give is what can people do to support, purchase tickets, if they want to become an advertiser or a sponsor, all that stuff. Go into the elevator speech for us.
Well, this is what you need to know, not what you want to hear, but what you need to know. Black College World Series is being put on by Black College Championships. This event is to showcase HBCU baseball at its championship collegiate level. Montgomery, Alabama is the location. The tournament is from May 10th to May 15th. The actual games start May 11th. It is a 18 tournament for the best from the NAIA and for the best from the NCAA Division I small school teams.
Division two.
I'm sorry. Division II.
Yeah.
And the tournament, it will showcase the top HBCU championship level teams who will no longer be playing as a mystical champion. Everything will be settled on the field. We did that last year. It was a very successful event in Montgomery. Bluefield State became the first ever HBCU national champion. And we're going to crown our second champion this year. In order
Where can
to
people get tickets at, Michael?
You can get tickets online at Black College Championships. Visit the website at blackcollegechampionships.com. There is a page for to purchase tickets to attend the event. We expect to see you there to support HBCUs, not just for the tournament, but this is huge for HBCUs. This is something that has never really happened before, and this is something that we're looking to do this down the road for the next 20, 25 years. We will no longer
advertisers. Go ahead, finish your segment.
We will no longer crown like I said, a mystical champion. Everything would be settled on the field.
So any potential people want to advertise, sponsor, just donate to support a team, I'm pretty sure they can find out all that information at that same website, blackcollegechampionships.com, Michael.
Yes. And also, if you want to have that personal experience, you can contact Black College Championships at blackcollegechampionships@gmail.com, the email. If you really want a personal experience, contact me there. Now, I'm not going to give you my phone number.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I know you've got opportunities for interns and volunteers and stuff like that. Ticket prices, Michael. That's another question people want to ask. What are the ticket prices for that for the game? Is it affordable? Is it outrageous?
It's affordable because if you want to attend the 4 games a day pass, that's just $25. If you want to attend a single game, that's $15 with special pricing for youth and senior citizens. There's also a voucher for kids, youth groups, high school, middle school to take a field trip. And then it's $5 lawn seating for the kids. And not only will you get a tournament championship atmosphere, you're going to see a good tournament, and you're going to get a good meal because the Montgomery biscuits have this special biscuit chicken sandwich with butter, and I've been told it is excellent. So you're going to get a great meal, watch a great game, and watch good teams try to win a national championship in Montgomery, Alabama, May 11th to the 15th.
Yeah.
There's
last question, and
nothing
we're
like
gonna let you get out of here.
At a baseball game, nothing like it.
Yeah. Last question we're gonna let before we let you get out of here, Michael. Some people are asking why not Alabama State? Why not Alabama A&M? Why not Jackson State? Why not Norfolk State? Why not the Division I programs? Quickly explain that.
Because we're working on that. Simple. Give us 1 year and we should have a HBCU National World Series with the large schools. In life, you got to start somewhere. We're starting with the small schools, and then we're going to graduate to the big programs. And believe me, when we do it, it will be big.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
All right, Mike. Michael Coker, blackcollegenines.com. Go check out the website. A lot of different, from the polls to the stories to the weekend recaps. Lots of news, information to go to catch up on HBCU baseball. Good coverage, covering HBCU baseball like nobody else in the game is. And that's blackcollegenines.com. That's Michael Coker with his HBCU baseball hat. He is the what was the name we came up for, Michael, as it relates to HBCU baseball? The Guru. Yes, the Guru of HBCU baseball. Mike, man, we love talking to you, man. Get back to that story. And, hey, man, thank you for your time tonight, Mike. Appreciate you always.
Well, I thank you guys. I thank you, A.D. Drew. I thank you, Brian Fulford and Roy Evans, for bringing me on board. As always, it's a pleasure, and I'd love to do it again. Whenever you need me, just let me know, and I'll get done.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. We're going to step away for a second. On the other side, we get into talking about some NIL as it relates to college athletics with LaShanda Love of the Icon Collective. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap on the Black College Sports Network.
Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working. Head & Shoulder Scalp Shield, never not working.
Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music. The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together we can be the change.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Got a special guest coming up right here, as you can see on the screen. That is the one and only Miss LaShanda Love. I had to make sure I get that right.
Yes.
Hashtag Graham Fam in the house.
Absolutely.
So, you GSU Tigers, you guys make sure to show her some love on Twitter. You can find her at Yard Talk HTX. She is everywhere on Twitter. If you've been paying attention to Twitter for the last month, you keep seeing at Yard Talk HTX with some like intelligent bomb dropping tweets left and right. And it's like, yo, I had to just finally reach out and be like, who is this? So look, not like I've been on Twitter forever, but I mean, not like I own the space, but I just recognize game, and I just recognize that LaShanda, you've been doing a heck of a job promoting not only what you do, but just HBCU. So I was like, look, we got to bring her on, and this might be the start of some great conversation going forward. So let's introduce you to people who may not know you. You're a graduate of Grambling State, but you're from, let me see if I saw
Yes.
right, you're Arkansas raised, correct?
Yes, Camden, Arkansas, which is really about 70 miles from Grambling.
Okay, so tell
It's
people
not far at all.
what a little bit of your story. How did you find your way to Grambling from Arkansas, and how come you didn't go to UAPB?
You know what? The same old trope that they give about HBCUs, oh, they're party schools and stuff like that. Because I wanted to go to UAPB, don't tell nobody that. Because all of the teachers in my high school, that's where they went. Because UAPB is not far from Camden. So got grown, and I said, I ended up moving to Monroe. And I said, I am not. I refuse to go to ULM. And so I would make that trip every day from Monroe to Grambling to go to school once I got grown.
Right, I got you. Now you were at. Now I'm not gonna ask for no age because I know I don't ask. No, I don't ask a woman for her age. But I will ask you, while you were at Grambling, what kind of things were going on? What successful program? What was happening at Grambling while you were there?
I was really a non-traditional student, so I missed a lot. I really developed a more of a fan-like behavior once I graduated, and I kind of it's like the it just hit me my senior year, like, okay, I'm really a part of this. So because I was married and I had kids, I really didn't get to experience as much as I would like to. And that's why I kind of make that post about, the non-traditional students. We don't really ever talk about that population.
Yeah, that you know what that's a good point. I do remember having a few friends that would probably qualify as the non-traditional, and I'm assuming when you say non-traditional, you didn't maybe come in as a freshman right out of high
Right.
school, like others did, and you get all the pomp and circumstance that comes with that. You kind of transfer in. You're trying to figure out who's who. You don't really know a
That's
lot of
correct.
people. So it's like, yeah, you didn't do the summer camps and all the other stuff that they try to
No.
put newcoming students. You didn't do all of that. So that's
But I
important. That's
did join Phi Beta Lambda, which is a business organization. So I did make the necessary connections I needed to make to, get myself involved in some student activities that I could, that I had time to do.
right, right. And so your major at Grambling was it sounded like it's probably a business related major.
No, actually math.
Wow. Okay. Numbers. I love that.
Yes.
Drew. He's a
Okay.
finance guy, so Drew loves the numbers and formulas. That's awesome.
That means we're
That's
gonna be
awesome.
friends. We're gonna be good friends.
Drew, jump in there with some questions as we get to know LaShanda Love here.
So, you know, I, I'm uh, I'm gonna hit you with the big elephant in the room when it comes to Grambling.
Okay. Which
Okay.
one?
Exactly right. You guys don't know how to do anything small over there in Grambling.
Well,
Not at all.
Grambling football and everything surrounding your coaches and your coaching hires and coaching resignations, going back from Fobbs all the way through through Hugh Jackson to Art Briles. So, as a Grambling alum, kind of take us through your own personal feelings and some of the feelings that you're hearing from some other Graham fam about everything that's transpired over probably the last 6 months when it comes to Grambling football.
You know what? I have yet to figure out why is it that Graham fam got to fall out every time we get a new coach. I do not understand it whatsoever. I mean, I love Coach Bobs. I never met him personally, so I can't, really speak to, I can only go by what I saw. Don't have any complaints about him as far as anything personally. I was there when he won, first Celebration Bowl. I was in Atlanta, you know, Well, the first for the Grambling and for the SWAC because we only got one.
The only one
So
for the SWAC.
we only got one. So and I was there when we played A&T also. So but I'm pretty happy about and appreciative that Coach Jackson came to Grambling. I mean, I'm sure, once you become an NFL coach, you're in a space that not a lot of people will get to be in, right? And so, he was at Tennessee State, and then he came, to Grambling, and I'm excited just to see what this new season is going to be like. And as far as the whole situation with Art Browse and all of that, I really just felt like, how can I say this? We all should have just came to the table, right? I think that the lack of communication between the people that were involved is kind of how things got to be like all over the place. Because I read the same information from, the news article that you read. And, was said that I talked to this particular person. Well, did everybody come together and, come to an agreement about how to move Grambling forward? Because at the end of the day, if the adults are arguing, the children are who suffer. It's the student athletes that are not being able to come into, into the program in the best way with the most resources. Who wants to come somewhere where it's chaotic? Nobody wants to send their children. So I think we have to do a better job holding ourselves accountable and making sure that we present ourselves well to receive those kids, because this class is coming in, they're the COVID graduates. So a lot of this is this going to be their first time really, out in the world. And we got to do a better job in taking care of the priority, which is the student athlete, not feelings, emotions, and, people be mad about a coaching hire from 10 years ago and don't support the school anymore. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, that coach long gone and we still, and then it's like, if you don't like football, what's stopping you from supporting basketball? What's stopping you from supporting baseball? We got to move past that, because we got. Go ahead, Drew, because I can talk. I can talk.
I'll be honest with you. That was not the perspective that I was looking from. I mean, it's I like it, but that's not what I was looking for you to bring into this conversation. But you are absolutely right on so many levels.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing. I never thought about it the way that you just kind of broke that down right there. So
Well, let me.
kudos to you. I don't know if that's just your personal opinion or the opinion of your
Yeah,
circle
that's
of
me.
friends or whatever, but I like it. I honestly like it.
Well, coach, are you a coach? I don't want to.
Yes, we both are
Okay.
actually.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Well, coach, here's my thing. I worked in the public school system as a math teacher for 5 years. I took off. I'm quote unquote on leave right now. And I just
Don't let
know
them
what
catch you. You
is
don't want
hit
to lose them. You don't want to lose the money you're getting in.
right.
I'm sorry.
And so I just know with our special population what those students actually need. And the mentorship that we have to provide them, the guidance. So I don't really get into all of because how can I be upset at people that I've never even met? It makes no sense. And we have a lot of that. And guess who it hurt, coach?
The student athletes, like you said.
Yeah. And the university as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So,
I, I,
that's
I
just my
agree.
goal to move past
It
that.
was just a different perspective, that sounds like an educator's perspective. Well, Brian and I are both in education, so we definitely,
Okay, what? Yeah, you
understand your
understand.
background and your thinking.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, again, joining us right now, LaShanda Love of the collective, the Icon Collective, excuse me. And let's get into talking a little bit about that, because this
Okay.
group, this collective, this provides assistance to athletes at Grambling State University by facilitating name, image, and likeness opportunities with businesses, alumni, and fans. And I was just, obviously, I think you might have retweeted or tweeted this out, just looking at a tracker courtesy of Business, College, and Sports, businessofcollegesports.com. They have a tracker, university-specific NIL collectives. Your collective there with Grambling, one of the only HBCU collectives in this list. I mean, we've got Auburn, FIU, Florida State, Gonzaga, Indiana University. Some of these schools have two collectives. So a lot of questions here. Let's start with the specifics of what a collective is and how you came to form and create this specific collective targeting Grambling State student athletes.
Okay, so basically, there are multiple sides to the collective, right? You have the side that what I consider to be the marketing and advertising side, where you'll have a company that says, "I want to pay the student athletes to do X, Y, and Z to wear my, just like a paid influencer, just to make it make sense." Which is not anything new. It's just that now the athletes have an opportunity to do it as well. And then you have what I call creating the fan experience, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been to like one of the bigger schools and they have so much going on during game day. They have autograph signings, they have meet and greets with the athletes. You go to their social media and you see them shouting out their boosters, like just the entire fan experience. That is what we are looking to create for Grambling. We got a big old jumbotron, and what are we doing with it during the games, right? So just those kind of things, just to keep it short and simple, that we're trying to create. We're going to do stuff like giveaways. We're going to have VIP events and things on campus just to take Grambling to the next level.
And so as you're doing this, and Drew, just jump in because you may have questions. I know I've got millions. So as you come up with something, jump in there, please. To what level are you working with the athletic department? Are you, I mean, there's certain things I'm sure you have to work with them to do, or how autonomous are you from them?
Based on the laws, there's a compliance piece that has to be done for the student athletes. And in the state of Louisiana, basically, the athletic department becomes more of a tracker, not really somebody that approves or declines the NIL deal, as long as there's no conflict of interest. For example, Grambling has a deal with Adidas, right? So Nike can't just come in and say, "Oh, I want to do an NIL deal with that particular student." The school, they can, they have some jurisdiction over that. But the compliance piece by state law is what the athletic department is responsible for, and the financial literacy piece. But of course, you want to build that relationship, but it can't be, any kind of conversation about any kind of specific NIL information. That's illegal. You can't do that.
Right. So let me ask you this. This NIL thing is new. It's just over a year old. So is it a year old now?
No, it's not a year.
It's not even a year old. It's not even a year old. So let me ask you this. What was your motivation? What made you wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to help these kids with NIL"? And then once you figured out this is what you wanted to do, how hard or how easy was it for you to get into this process and to get to the point where you are right now?
I actually wanted to do it for my own company. Yard Talk HTX is a yard sign company actually in Houston. So that's kind of how it started. So I just reached out and it was kind of during when Grambling really, really, really just stepped up their social media game this year. And so they made it to where the alumni and the fans can see who the recruits are. So I was actually looking for a recruit to sign an NIL deal for, and it just so happened that it just kind of blew up from there because the kids saw me tweeting about Grambling, and so they just started messaging me like crazy. And so I was like, well, instead of just doing it for one, let me start something that I can do to help all the kids. And so I kind of went into the alumni groups that we have and just put a, announcement out, hey, I want to do this. And it just kind of went from there.
So, with all that being said, and I'm pretty sure you've learned some lessons, some do's, and some I'll never do that again. So,
Yeah.
what is the future of what you're doing? Because I'm pretty sure this is very fluid. This is evolving because this NIL stuff is so new, and there may be federal legislation that may come down and change some things. There may be some adjustments in state laws. So, what is the future right now? Is what you see in the company and what you're doing with it?
Well, I don't see any federal laws being passed anytime soon. So I think in order to provide a cushion so that I can continue to do business, I will have to expand to different HBCUs that are not under the Louisiana laws. And that way I'm not, regardless of what one particular state does, I'm not, completely caught off guard and dismantled by, the stroke of a pen. Because there's over 500,000 athletes, right? So if I just get 1%, that's 500 kids. I can do a lot. That's actually a lot, and I can do a lot with that. So, and Alabama actually passed a law that says you can't pass any laws that that are against NIL. So that's a really safe space right there.
Wait a minute. Alabama passed. Wait a minute.
Tuskegee.
Alabama passed a law. Wait a minute. Stop, Drew. Stop. Explain that again. I've never been. If that's not the most Alabama University of Alabama thing, excuse me.
Okay.
What is? Explain that law again.
It's basically saying that the state can't pass any laws that restrict NILs. Like, because they had some kind of law
Call
at
that
first
call
that
that the
was,
Nick Saban open season law.
if you know, you know.
I know.
If you know, you know.
So
Yep,
that's amazing.
You know.
They created a law to prevent you from making a law. I've never heard of anything
Right.
like that, but I guess you can do anything with the power of the pen in the state legislature. So, what are some of the more challenging laws? Because we're in the state of Florida. I am at least, and with some
Okay.
of my brothers, Florida A&M, we are learning and hearing so many different things regarding the laws in Florida, and they're so different in other places. I know they're very
I
different in
live in
Mississippi.
Georgia.
You live in Georgia. They're different there in Alabama and in Louisiana. I love the way you say that, by the way. I'm more of a Midwestern guy, so I'm saying Louisiana, but I'd love the accent anyway. The whole. What are some of the laws there in your state that are challenging, that are open compared to some of the other states in the SWAC? Because of course the SWAC now covers 5 states, 6 states.
Yeah, Texas, Arkansas,
Texas, Louisiana,
Louisiana,
Mississippi,
Alabama,
Alabama, Florida. 5.
Florida.
Skips
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, skip Georgia.
Okay. So yeah, what are some of the laws that you deal with or have had to deal with, or what are open, what are closed, so on and so forth?
I don't think it's necessarily an open or closed thing, but one thing that that is kind of, I wouldn't say a hindrance, but in the state of Louisiana, the school has to provide the financial literacy. So even if I do it on the private side, if the kids don't get it from the school, what does that look like? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when there are certain things that the university has to do by law, then I feel like that kind of, you have to be a little bit more resourceful with, with how you do things.
So, and when we say, Drew,
Because it's like,
LaShanda, when we say financial literacy, are we talking about, hey, once you guys enter into this contract, yeah, you guys have to pay taxes? Is that what we're talking about, and other things like that? What do you do with this money that you
sir.
get?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
actually, H&R Block. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. I was
Go
going to
ahead.
say,
No,
actually, H&R Block is getting into this space as well, because they've recently released some information about NILs and stuff too. So companies are paying attention, and everybody is kind of jockeying to figure out, how can I, get some of this new money.
Yeah. Well, I know I've dealt with the company EverFi. I'm pretty sure you heard of them, and I know they do a lot with
Okay.
financial literacy also. Uh, but and let's stay in Louisiana since that's what you deal with. When you say they
Mm-hmm.
have to do a class in financial literacy, is that like a semester class? Is that a 2 hours class? Is that something
That's
that you
what
take on Zoom? How does that work in your state?
That's what I'm saying, because I can't basically put it like this, because I can't certify a student as saying they took these 5 hours. I don't know, how that is going to roll out, as far as, will it be a Zoom? Will it be, and I know Grambling has the contract with the influencer. So I'm assuming that they're working that out with them, because they do offer things through influencer for universities. But
How
just
many
not
different?
being able to, yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, LaShanda.
I was just gonna say, but just not being able to, say, because we're still gonna do our own NIL boot camp, and sit down and explain a lot of those things to the students, but it's like, by law, it has to come from the school. So it's like, what I do would just be a supplement to whatever the school provides. So I don't think it's going to be a semester like long thing at all. I don't think so.
So, just again, for anyone watching us here, LaShanda Love of the Icon Collective. That's theiconcollective.org. Find her on Twitter at Yard Talk HTX, correct?
Yes, sir. I need to turn my light on.
Yeah. Also, so the Icon Collective, again, how many different groups, businesses, alumni entities have you brought into your fold to connect with student athletes? I mean, if you care to share that, I don't know
I,
if that's a
I,
you know
I can't really share that for,
okay,
NDA privacy reasons. Right,
got you.
as of right now. We do have some things that we're going to get ready to roll out, and, then I can, disclose that information. But right now,
So
no.
let me rephrase. Okay, so I own I own
Car dealership.
a car dealership. Okay, I like that. I
Mhm.
was gonna go barbecue stand. Tells you where I am this time of the evening, but yes, car dealership. So I own a car dealership. I want to connect with Grambling State student athletes.
Mhm.
I come to the Icon Collective. How does that work for me as the business, on the business side of things, and then maybe talk about it from the student athlete side of things?
Okay, well, let me start out with this disclosure. The Icon Collective does not require any student athlete to sign a exclusive agreement with us. And the reason why I say that is because we don't want to limit how the earning potential of the kids, right? So
Okay.
we have our partnerships, but we may have some, I'm sure we got some true goal getters on, on the team, and they may go out and solicit their own business. we can't be like, no, you can't do business with them, or it has to come through us. So I just wanted to say that. So if you're a business and you want to work with us, we're going to connect you with a student based on, we have a business interest form on the website that you fill out, and that kind of keeps us from having the same conversation over and over again. It has name, all the information that you need, name the business, how many students you want to work with, and stuff like that. And so we match you with the kids based on, different conversations that we have. We get the contract wrote up. We have a chief compliance officer. He's actually an attorney. He went to Grambling as well, but he went to Howard Law School. So we have him look over it. And our business development officer, he works with you to facilitate the language and to make to that fit your specific business needs, and we get it rolling. It's really a simple process, just making sure everybody is happy, making sure the kids get paid, and
And I was going to say, how does the business takes care of? Do they go through you, or do they give directly to the student athlete? I mean, you don't have to give me all your business, but I mean, if I have the car dealership, who am I cutting the check to? The Icon Collective or the student athlete?
It goes through us. We take care of that for the business, which is part of our services that we provide, because they really don't have time to monitor. It's kind of like project management. They don't have time to monitor all of that.
True. Nice.
We're going to give you a moment to get that light if you wanted to, LaShanda, because we
Thank
can't see
you.
your beautiful face anymore.
I've been sitting here waiting for y'all to give me the go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
sorry.
first sit down,
That's
it was
right.
daytime, and then I'm sorry, y'all.
Brian conducted the interview, but it's like we don't want you to talking in dark and making sure that it's like, okay, she giving us some super secret information.
That's how I was playing it.
Sorry, y'all.
Drew, that's exactly how
what was that podcast we did when we had when we had the promoter on?
Oh,
it was
yeah,
on
that
ONG.
was on the ONG.
Can I go now?
Oh yeah, you can get the light. Get the light.
Okay.
We just trying to make small talk while you get the light.
Yeah, don't listen to us. We'll talk all day over here. So no.
That's what we do.
I was saying that. That's exactly
I was waiting for y'all to give me the green light. Y'all just kept talking, so I said, okay.
Yeah,
you good.
You wait on us. You'll be here all day. You'll be here all day.
Okay.
There you go.
How about that?
Oh, that's much better. That's much better. She's come out of the dark, y'all. So we're not talking about anything illegal. See, people think because you were getting dark and we was talking about money that we was talking about illegal stuff.
No. We ain't trying to. No, we ain't trying to cheat. We ain't trying to mess with nobody and their money, because we know that first time you skip one penny, they gonna call you a scammer. So we got to make sure the money right.
So
go ahead, Drew.
I got one question before we get out of here. So what has been the one or two major things that the student athletes have really requested from you as far as services? Not companies and stuff like that, but what if they come to you and ask, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me manage that? What are the top couple of things that they come in and ask you specifically for help with that you've been able to provide for them?
Just understanding contract language, I would say, is what they've asked me the most, and just knowing when they're gonna get paid, of course.
Oh, of course. I'm surprised that wasn't the first thing, and then contract language was the second thing.
You got a point. You got a point.
Right.
But yeah, just because it's it's simple to us, but
to an 18-year-old who ain't never been away from home, probably is a little challenging.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. It may say, you're going to get paid $25 per tweet, and you're going to tweet 4 times a month. And, and it's very plain language, but then you add all that extra legal jargon, and then,
So now you just made me think about something. We talk about 18 to 20-year-olds who haven't been away and probably don't have that. Both I won't say most of, but you got a lot of people who don't have that legal expertise or parents at home who they could call for that legal
Right.
expertise and things like that. So how much do you get of my mama said this and Uncle Joe at the barbershop said this that you have to go and correct, like, don't listen to the street committee. This is how it is. You can research it yourself and make sure, and just to know that I'm not lying to you, but you can't listen to the street committee. How much of that do you realistically get?
I can't say what I want to say, but I'm gonna just say it haven't. That
Did I hit a button? I hit a nerve, y'all.
True.
I haven't really gotten a lot of that from the kids. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, is it the parents?
No, it's not the parents.
I got you.
I'm leave that
And the
alone.
reason
I
I
know
say
where.
that
Hold
because
on.
I've helped
I
kids
know
with
where his clip
recruiting,
come through.
and I
I
have to
know.
dispel those myths. When
No,
I've been
because
helping
But,
kids try to recruit and find schools. Now you can't listen to this. This is what you need to do. You need to do this by then, or that school not going to even look at you. So I've done that from a recruiting point, and I know those challenges. That's why I was wondering if you had some of those similar challenges when it comes to NIL.
no, the kids have been. The kids are asking the right questions, and the parents too. I've had conversations with parents. Um, they've been wonderful. I've made myself self accessible to, my inbox be going crazy. But I always respond. Nobody can ever say I ignored them because I always respond. But it hasn't. The kids have been great. Coach Jackson really recruited some student athletes that were of good character. I can, from what I've seen, is not just, about football. They are really some great young men there, and they have been really wonderful. There have been times when I was like, hey, don't post that, delete that, that may, remember you're a brand. That's what I always tell them. Remember that you are a brand. What I need you to do right now is focus on getting your social media follows up. That's what I'm selling. Okay. And, I kind of explained to them, it doesn't really matter if you're PWO or scholarship. What matters is, do you have eyes on your page, right? How many views are you getting? How many likes? That kind of stuff. But other than that, the kids, I haven't had not one kid be, come at me sideways about, you know what I'm saying? And then it's so funny because some of them didn't even know like why I was saying like, hey, watch your social media and stuff or whatever. And I had to, and they had actually inboxed me on the other page, and I'm like, this is Miss Love. So that was funny. But the kids have been great. I mean, parents too, from PWO to scholarship, and that's why I kind of, I say take care of all your kids, not just the kids that are on scholarship. The PWOs deserve, they're going to be making the same sacrifice as those other kids. And they deserve, to be treated fairly as well. And they really got more to lose because they ain't getting no money. If you really think about it, they just there off the strength of love of the game, So we got to take care of them. I'm gonna just say that let's take care of our student athletes, because as much as HBCUs don't want to admit it, athletic programs are what drive enrollment. And instead of us keep fighting against it, embrace it. Let's get this money and let's do what we need to do to build our universities through our athletics program. It's a simple
That
formula.
sounds
I
like a
don't know
good point to
why.
end this.
Drew,
I don't know what is the pushback. I don't know. I don't get it. And I'm
This
not
is
just
why.
saying Grambling. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Let me get out your way. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I don't just when I'm speaking, I'm not targeting Grambling. I'm just speaking period. For what I've seen from just being in this HBCU space for a long time, at least 10, almost 10. Yeah. So
you,
that's where I'm coming from, and it's coming from a good place. I don't never make a post to call anybody out. It's all to make things better for those kids because I have to sell that athletic program at the end of the day. And I don't mean the adults there, I mean the students there. So if I'm a business and I go and look at, I ain't gonna call no names. I go look at a certain school's page and they're not even proud about their own student athletes. They're not showcasing them. Why would I spend money with that school?
Preach.
You know what I'm
Preach.
saying? From
Preach.
everything to football to tennis, baseball. So, I mean, why we act like black people don't like baseball and softball?
Preach.
I
Preach.
mean, it's like baseball is the
Preaching
hidden
Drew.
sport on the campus or something. And we love baseball. We make summer leagues and everything. Like, make it make sense.
And let the church say, Amen.
Okay.
Hey, hold on, Drew. You didn't see the tweet that she dropped earlier today. I stumbled upon it.
I haven't been on
This
Twitter today.
Hey, look. I just go ahead and put. I got LaShanda in my. You know how you can set certain tweets up that anytime somebody tweets, you get a notification. I have moved her to that list. So
y'all on my list too.
Well, when Schefter sends out a note, you get that personalized to your inbox, right? No, when LaShanda sends a tweet, I know because I know she sent a tweet out, and 9 times out of 10,
So
there's some
silly.
truth behind it. And I'm telling you, like what was it you said today about some of y'all must not love y'all programs? You hadn't tweeted anything out since signing day, and I said, oh my God, no, tell the truth.
Now, Coach, come
Tell the
on,
truth.
make it make sense. Now, it's not fair to the kids and the alumni and fans that want to support the school. If you
I'm
talk
gonna
about
say this. I'm gonna say this. When you got one SID covering 12 sports, I can understand because they don't have enough student help, enough student interns at some of these schools. They need increase the athletic budget when it comes to sports marketing. I'm gonna
hit you with that meme. I'm gonna hit you with that meme. What's the meme of Shannon where he'd be like this? No, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that because Twitter lets you program. You can program tweets. You can put tweets on a schedule. I'm not buying it, Coach. Not buying it. Not buying it, Drew.
Yep.
I get it. I understand. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I understand. So, hey, LaShanda, we're going to get you out of here because you have been I'm so glad we were able to do this.
Oh,
I feel
Lord,
like
Coach,
we got to
he's
do
scratching his head over there.
Yeah, look, I feel like we got to do a part 2 some other time because there's so many other topics that I know you would love to talk about, that we would love to talk with you about. But we gotta kind of put a bow on this segment because we're almost out of time overall.
Okay.
But let people know again where they can follow you, where they can find you, and where they can find the Icon Collective.
Okay, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the Icon 1901. And then my personal page is Yard Talk HTX in the same social media apps.
All right.
Or you can go to the website, iconcollective.org.
There you go. Well, look, I know there's a few people in that athletics office who used to work with folks over at FAM. So I love some of the people over there in Grambling. That's all I'm gonna say. There's some people over there that I really love.
Let me say this, and we can end on it if you like. They have posted every single sport on that campus, and they post content every day, several times a day. So I would say Grambling, if I had to pick out one school that I could, and this is not me being biased because I went to go check today. That's why I made that post. Okay. looking down south at that other Louisiana school, but we ain't gonna say nothing. But
okay, go ahead, preach.
But yes, they do a great job. Just giving us something, right? Just even if win, lose, or draw, GSU_Tigers page with the blue check. Okay, they post content every day, all day, and we appreciate that.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. Shout out to Curtis and Brian out there in the athletic department. Two guys who were working with FAMU. Got to know those two good people. Two good, real good people. I know they're doing great things over there at Grambling. So again, LaShanda Love at Yard Talk HTX. You've seen her. She's out there on Twitter. She's everywhere. So just go ahead and follow. And hit her up. Let her know you appreciate coming in and so much NIL information that you shared. You're going to have to come talk to us over on another show some other time with the Orange and Green. You're going to have to inspire us. You're going to have to inspire us over there
Hey,
with my people.
she can always come to the Black College World Series also in Montgomery.
Oh, we got a VIP
when is that
ticket
again?
May 11th through 14th.
If I'm not at a graduation, I will do my best to come.
We got
and
a VIP
I did
ticket.
See y'all on the.
Let us know. We got an all access pass for you.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
For sure.
That make it a little bit better.
For sure. We'll talk more, LaShanda, off air, but I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for all that you've given us, and congrats and best of luck and success. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing in this space, and so we'll talk more. Okay.
Okay. Thank y'all for having me.
All right. Yes,
Appreciate
ma'am.
you.
All right. Thank you again. That's LaShanda Love, the Icon Collective, joining us. We're going to stay here because there's no sense in us taking a break, Drew. I know our producer, if I said take a break, the producer would be like, why? We're about to almost done. So let's do this. Obviously, the Final Four, Drew, we didn't get a chance to talk about this at the beginning of the show. The Final Four, it's down to the Blue Bloods, and it feels so fitting. Duke versus North Carolina, Villanova versus Kansas. I've got a little – I'm on edge, Drew, because I need Duke versus Kansas in the finals, and then I can be into making some moves. So I got to work this whole weekend. I got to figure things out, Drew. But what do you make of the Final Four and the teams that are in it?
But half my bracket is done. The half that doesn't feature Duke. I did have Duke in the championship game, but I had them losing to somebody from the other half. So, number one, I need Duke in the championship game.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a little biased with Duke. My cousin is on staff at Duke.
Oh, really?
Chris Carroll. Yeah, Chris Carrawell. That Chris Carrawell who failed to shake hands. Yes, that's my cousin. So it runs in our family with that kind of
stuff. Oh my goodness! Go ahead.
I've got a pull for the fairy tale story now with Coach K.
That's what I did too.
I was a Carolina fan growing up until Chris went to Duke to play for Duke. So I had to switch over because that's blood. Blood is thicker than water. So I've been a Duke fan ever since. Back when Christian Laettner was there, couldn't stand Duke.
Right.
Shane Battier, Carlos Booz, and all them, biggest Duke fan in the world because Chris was on those teams. Jay Will, yes.
I think this is the only time I've picked. I think this is the only time I've ever picked Duke in the finals or to win the title. And now, the scary part for me is last year I went with the perfect season narrative. The last great and the last undefeated team was the Indiana Hoosiers of 75-76. One of the greatest college basketball teams to ever play. Anyway, that was the last unbeaten team. And so Gonzaga was on the verge of doing something special, and I was on the verge of winning something special. I didn't win. Gonzaga didn't win because the one year that I actually went off of my – what do I say every year at the start of the tournament, Drew? Death, taxes, and don't pick Gonzaga to win the title, right? And I made the mistake. I picked them. I bought into it, thought they could go perfect, And then they ran into a team that played defense, a team that sadly I had not seen all tournament. And I hate myself for it because had I seen one game of Baylor, I would have realized there is no way in heck that Gonzaga is going to beat this team. And so I lost.
And remember who I picked?
Yes. You didn't tell me not. You didn't help me out last year either. So I'm mad at you still.
But I
But
did
anyway,
pick Baylor. Of course, I had Baylor Houston, but
yes, you did. Yes. So this year, again, it just kind of worked out. When I saw the brackets, I said, okay, Duke, I got to go with the narrative. I got to go with the Coach K story because, and you know what also sold it for me is the way the regular season ended. You lost his last game in Cameron. Then you lost the championship game in the ACC tournament. And I just said there is no way in heck that the Brotherhood was going to let those guys know. They were like, hey, guys, you guys messed up twice. You screwed up the game against Carolina in Cameron, and then you lost the ACC tournament. You got to win the national title. And I believe that's the pressure that the Brotherhood put on these guys, and they have answered the call. And so I am all about this story. And then the other side, Kansas, I just thought Kansas had a cakewalk path to the championship. Now, I didn't know it would run the way it did, but I really felt like none of the teams that were in their bracket could really challenge them if all of those teams were playing at their best. So for me, I've got a Duke versus Kansas national title game. Who's your national title game?
Duke, and would it be fitting for Duke and Kansas? Although I cannot bet against Jay Wright and Villanova. I think I'm leaning more Villanova Duke versus Duke.
Now, how big is the injury? How big is the injury to the young man from Villanova whose name escapes me, who blew his Achilles out?
That's what I've got to wait to see. That's what I've got to wait to see if he's out before I pick.
Oh no, he's out. He's out.
Oh, he's out.
No, he's out. That Achilles is gone. Next year.
Oh, he tore his Achilles. Duke, Kansas. Duke, Kansas.
Duke, Kansas. All right. So then we will talk about how to play my opportunities with, do we hedge? What do we do? You know, because there's a lot on the line for your boy over here. There's a lot on the line for your boy, Drew. I feel like this is karma for what happened last year where I got done over kind of nicely, got worked over like Chris Rock telling bad jokes. But, you know, I'm just saying, you know. All right.
Yeah. Got one piece of news I want to get out before you pick up this show and get out of here, Brian.
Go ahead. What you got?
And this came out today. Probably one of the worst kept secrets in HBCU athletics. Dr. Kiki Baker-Barnes is now the permanent commissioner of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, as she is the first Black female commissioner of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. And why do I say this is one of the worst kept secrets? Because she's been the interim commissioner since 2019 for the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, with a dual role as the athletic director at Dillard University. So after this academic year, she will transition into the role of full-time commissioner for the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. And now let's think about it. While she was interim commissioner, she saw the league go from 8 to 5 to 5 and a possible with Edward Waters, back up to 8 with Oakwood, Suno, and Wiley coming into the conference next year. Suno returning because they added athletics in, so that was a natural fit. And then with Oakwood and Wiley coming in as new members, and she added Fisk in the previous year to counterbalance teams such as Talladega, Xavier, and Edward Waters leaving the conference. So kudos goes to Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes. 3 of our 5 HBCU conferences are led by women now, Brian. Officially led by women. BAC,
Oh yeah, wow.
CIAA, and GCAC.
And that's all on 3 different levels too: Division I, Division II, and NAIA.
NAIA. Yes,
That
that would be correct.
that's huge. What's also interesting is, and congratulations to the GCAC, Dr. Barnes. It just goes to show that when the news of Xavier, Talladega, Edward Waters leaving, a lot of us in these roles, media talking heads or media voices, talked about the possible demise. Also, fans did too. A lot of y'all do talk, but more than us probably. The demise of the GCAC, and all they did is get stronger. And that's all credit to Dr. Barnes. And so, all that said, we maybe shouldn't throw dirt on the pile where the MEAC stands, because it just goes to show that there are opportunities that could arise from the ashes. And so that's the challenge for the MEAC, and they got to figure it out somehow, some way. But they're doing the best they can. They're still alive, and they will find a way to create a partnership to create some stability within their programs. And so that good for the GCAC, and hopefully good for the MEAC in the future. Well, that's going to do it for this show. We want to encourage you again. Go download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app on your Google or Apple Play Store. My JBM, My BCSN is where you can search and find our show. Our shows always appear on the BCSN Pod Zone, which hopefully you've liked and subscribed on all of your podcast platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. And on all of those platforms, we need you to not only subscribe, but to rate. Give us 5 stars. I mean, if you're not going to give us 5 stars, what are you even messing around? But give the BCSN Pod Zone 5 stars, because not only do you get our show, but you get Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You get the O&G Strike Zone. You get the pregame show. You get Carlos Brown show and many other shows on the BCSN Pod Zone. So it's a collective of shows, and it's a great opportunity for you to rate us, like and subscribe however you're watching us on YouTube. Shout out to everybody out on YouTube who's been watching with us: Mary 305, M Ford 1974, Dim Boys, EA, Will Mayer, Marcelin, Karen Griffin, a lot of the folks there on Facebook as well. Thank you to everybody for watching tonight's show. Again, special guests Michael Coker, BlackCollegeNines.com, and LaShanda Love of the Icon Collective. And go make sure you let those individuals know that you appreciate them and enjoyed hearing them on the show. That way, it'll hopefully encourage them to want to come back some more. So that's going to do it for tonight. Shout out to our producer, Roy, always holding it down, making things happen. And for you, Drew, safe travels. Be good out there in Tuskegee. And if you guys see Drew out there, give him some love, shout him out, and so on and so forth. And I'm Brian Fulford, and we thank you for watching the BCSN Sports Wrap. That's going to do it. Guys, be safe. Take care of yourselves. Keep your hands to yourself. Put your hands in your pocket when you feel tempted to slap somebody. It's not a good move. Not a good move. Not a good way to go out. That's going to do it. We out. Peace out.
But earmuff, you stay on hard.